Bullies, tall, quiet girl's shirt at school lunch. Her shocking revenge stunned everyone. The cafeteria buzzed with a chaos like never before. Laughter echoed, trays clattered, and the scent of greasy fries filled the air. But in the corner, where shadows lingered, stood Anna, the timid girl with fiery orange hair and eyes that held a world of unsaid words. Today, however, her silence would be shattered. The popular girls, led by the notorious Jessica, were ready to unleash their usual torment. The lunch hour had officially turned into a storm. "Look at her," Jessica sneered, her voice curling like smoke through the crowded room. "Is she serious with that shirt?" Mocking giggles erupted like a chorus, and the wave of their cruelty crashed over Anna, leaving her gasping for breath. The shirt was an old thing, too big but comfortable. Just a piece of clothing, but in this moment it was her fortress. Then the unforeseen happened. One of the girls lunged, hands grabbing fabric, and in an instant Anna felt the tearing of her reality. The sound was like a gunshot, a final straw shattering her fragile composure. Laughter fell silent for a heartbeat. Anna stood frozen, heat climbing up her neck. Shame swirling in her chest. As the fabric ripped apart, so did her heart. Everyone watched, feeling that electric lifeblood of humiliation course through them. A knot tightened in her throat. Tears threatened to spill. But instead of the overwhelming despair she had known countless times before, a burning ember ignited deep within her. A shock ran through her, something hidden beneath layers of fear and insecurity, awakening a force she never knew she possessed. It wasn't just fury. It was a deep, cosmic rage. Suddenly, the air felt thick, charged with an unexplainable energy that shimmered just out of reach. With a swift breath, Anna focused on the group clustered before her, their sneers and snickers crystallizing into one thing: pain. She wasn't just a victim anymore. She was ready to turn the tables. It started as a whisper in her mind, a swirling current of emotions beckoning, urging her to explore this newfound power. What if she could make them feel the anguish they'd caused? With that thought, she unleashed an emotion that swirled around them like an unseen tide. Jessica's laughter faltered. A fissure of doubt cracked through her facade. Anna felt it, the ripple of confusion, a flicker of hurt. Her former tormentors momentarily fell into a disoriented silence, peering at one another, as if the very foundation of their friendship began to tremble. Secrets hidden beneath layers of popularity were rising to the surface, a tide of betrayal. Suddenly, Anna's heart raced. With every flicker of emotion, she unlocked cracks in the tightly knit group. Friendships strained and sparked like a dynamic current. Jealousies emerged like dark shadows chasing their light. The chaos of revelations sent ripples through the lunchroom, revealing the raw truths that lay beneath their perfectly polished lives. But guilt began gnawing at her stomach. What had she just done? As one by one, the girls whispered and glared. Overarching tension brewed in the air. Anna felt their pain, but also saw how deeply connected they were. She hadn't just disturbed their peace. She had opened floodgates. A twist in the room echoed louder. One of Jessica's friends burst into tears, revealing a secret that struck Anna like thunder. What was going to happen next? As her power thickened, Anna faced the ultimate question: revenge or redemption? The cafeteria sat on the edge of a storm, and so did she. Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube removed their subscriptions without warning. Just do a quick check on that red button down below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I don't want you to miss any of the exclusive content coming your way. And since you're here, smash that like button. It helps me a lot with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, what city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person in this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. As the tears began to roll down Anna's cheeks, the air shifted again. The tension hung thick like a heavy blanket, suffocating every breath. Jessica's friends were still in shock, eyes darting between Anna and each other, as if searching for answers. Heart pounding, Anna stood there, power coursing through her veins, while guilt nibbled at her insides. Everything felt charged, alive, buzzing with an energy that was both intoxicating and terrifying. Suddenly, a loud crash interrupted the silence. A metal food tray hit the floor, echoing sharply like a gunshot. Everyone turned, startled. Their gaze landed on the source. A shadowy figure bursting through the cafeteria door. It was Mr. Thompson, the school's principal, his expression a mix of confusion and outright displeasure. "What's going on here?" he demanded, eyes scanning the chaotic scene, landing on Anna and the now standing, trembling Jessica. The room held its breath, the air stilled. Even Anna's newfound resolve shrank in the face of authority. Was she ready to face the consequences of her outburst? But then, as Mr. Thompson marched closer, something unexpected happened. He stumbled, his face pale, and suddenly he was clutching the table for support, gasping. The room gasped back. "Sir, are you okay?" A voice rang out amid the shocked murmurs. Panic spread like wildfire. Anna felt her heart drop, a heavy weight pressing down on her, as she realized something was terribly wrong. Mr. Thompson's breathing became ragged. He clutched his chest, eyes wide with fear. Bright red. Like a well-rehearsed play, chaos erupted. Students rushed towards the exits. Some grabbed their phones flashing in the stark cafeteria lights. Anna was rooted to the spot, unable to move, her internal storm transforming into a whirlpool of dread. "Anna!" a voice called, barely breaking through the flood of noise. It was Lily, her closest friend, eyes wide and desperate. "Come on! We need to help!" And just as Anna turned toward Lily, she caught a glimpse of Jessica, the girl who had taunted her, now looking small and vulnerable, tears streaming down her cheeks. The revelation hit like a slap. Jessica wasn't just a bully anymore. She was scared. It was as if the unfolded layers of their rivalry peeled away, exposing something raw and human beneath. For a fleeting moment, Anna's heart ached with compassion. Then, with a sudden gasp, Mr. Thompson collapsed, hitting the ground hard. Silence crashed down again, sharp and painful. Faint murmurs transformed into sharp gasps of horror. Everyone was frozen, eyes wide, some hands over mouths. Anna staggered back, as if struck by a force she couldn't see. Shock raced through the cafeteria, weaving a thread of reality everyone was not prepared for. His eyes said more than the whisper. What had just happened? The web of shared pain and secrets wrapped around Anna, tightening with every passing second. Why did he call her out? Why did it feel like her universe spiraled into chaos with one look? Before she could piece together the fragments of his words, the room erupted into noise, phones buzzing, bodies pushing. Fear, concern, confusion. Anna felt it all, the swirling chaos sucking her in. The question lingered ominously in the air. What was Mr. Thompson hiding? And what would this mean for her newfound power? Her place in this lunacy? She couldn't shake the feeling that their lives would never be the same again. Anna's heart raced. The cafeteria, enveloped in a bewildering whirlwind. Mr. Thompson was on the floor, and with each laboured breath, the weight of the moment pressed down harder. Fear blinked in the eyes of her classmates. Panic spread like flames. "Call 911!" a voice shouted, slicing through the chaos. Anna looked to Lily, who was clamouring for help. But her gaze couldn't leave Mr. Thompson. The principal's body was still, and a chill washed over Anna, a realization creeping in. Something deep and unnerving flickered in her mind. "Someone get the nurse!" Lily yelled, hands shaking. Students scattered, their chairs scraping loudly against the floor. Anna stood, unmoving, as whispers twisted through the crowd, snaking around her like cold fingers. "Is he? What happened?" Mr. Thompson gasped. The breath, his eyes darting, searching, and somehow landing on Anna again. "Anna." His voice cracked, desperation coating each syllable. "They're going to—" But just then, a loud crash echoed through the cafeteria, drowning out his words. The double doors flew open again, but this time it was security. Burly men in blue uniforms, faces taut with urgency. They moved with an intensity that cut through the atmosphere like a knife. "What's going on here?" one demanded, scanning the room. "Mr. Thompson needs help," Lily shouted, frantically pointing to the sprawled figure. Anna's pulse roared in her ears. She felt a strange connection to this moment, a trembling line drawn back to the rip she had caused moments before. Maybe it was connected to Mr. Thompson. Why did his eyes linger on her? "Everyone back!" one officer ordered, clearing space. They knelt beside Mr. Thompson, their hands trained, their eyes sharp. Anna squeezed her fists, feeling trapped between fear and a yearning to understand. And then came the twist. A sudden scream cut through that heavy air. "No, don't!" It was Jessica, her voice cracking, fear spilling everywhere. She staggered forward, eyes wide, with a mix of terror and guilt. "He can't. You don't know." "Know what?" The question ricocheted in every corner of the room. The students pulled back. Confusion reigned as all eyes fell on Jessica, the girl who had made Anna's life miserable. "Stop!" she yelled, chest heaving. "You don't understand. He's not just a principal." The cafeteria held its breath again. Anna felt her heart thump loudly. What did Jessica mean? Who was Mr. Thompson really? "No, Jessica, don't!" A friend tried to pull her back, but the words fell flat in the tension. "Anna!" Jessica's voice was raw, trembling. "He knows. He's hiding things. About you, about me, about all of us." The words hung in the air, thick and heavy with implications. Gasps erupted, students whispering in quick bursts. "What's happening? What does she mean?" Mr. Thompson's eyes widened. "Stop," he rasped, but it only added weight to Jessica's truth. Anna's breath caught. Secrets. What could he possibly know? A knot twisted tight in her stomach. She thought of her moments of newfound power. Had she unwittingly touched on something buried deep? What could she tell them, she thought? No one cared about her whispered pain. Now they were faced with something darker. As the whispers turned frantic, Anna struggled to grasp what was unraveling. Mr. Thompson was inching closer to them, his face caught between fear and something else. Recognition. Suddenly, he raised a shaking hand, reaching toward Anna. Eyes wide with something that felt almost like panic. You have to understand. Anna felt the ground shift. Each word seemed to ignite the air, and the cafeteria pulsed with uncertainty. What did he mean? What truth lay buried in the chaos? The tension hung, electric, waiting for a spark. And just like that, she felt gravity pull her toward him. In that moment, everything hung in balance. The truth amidst the storm that threatened to unravel their lives. Anna's heart raced as she locked eyes with Mr. Thompson. The air felt electric, thick with questions that hung heavy like a storm cloud. You have to understand, he gasped again, his voice barely a whisper, and panic surged like a wave through the room. Then something flickered in his gaze. Fear? Recognition? Anna strained to hear him. But instead of clarity, chaos erupted. Jessica's frantic words cut through the noise, her face drawn tight in desperation. You don't understand. He knows something about you, Anna. What did she mean by that? Anna's stomach twisted, her breath caught. Mr. Thompson was collapsing. But the weight of Jessica's revelation struck harder. All eyes shifted instinctively towards Anna. What was lurking in her past? Why would he know anything about me? Anna's thoughts spun like a tornado. She felt exposed, raw. Her only comfort, the solid warmth of friendships, was slipping through her fingers. Suddenly, Mr. Thompson's eyes glazed over. Anna! He strained to speak, but the words trailed off into suffocating silence. You need to... And then he stopped. Just like that, his body went limp. The cafeteria trembled, a collective gasp soaring, filled with dread. The chaos crescendoed around them. Students exchanged horrified glances, whispers morphing into frantic pleas for help. Anna felt the ground beneath her shift uncomfortably. Anna, we need to get him help, Lily shouted, voice piercing through the panic. But Anna couldn't move. Her gaze was locked on Mr. Thompson. Something heavy lay in his stillness, a secret weighting the air. I can't believe this, a girl cried from the back of the cafeteria. Why is he looking at her like that? Someone else murmured, eyes darting nervously. And then it happened. As if answering an unspoken question, Mr. Thompson's hand shot towards Anna, his eyes wide with something that felt like terror. You've got to stop before it's too late, he rasped. Those words pierced through the noise. Anna felt chills race down her spine. At that moment, something inside her shifted, like she was teetering on the edge of a cliff. But before she could process it, the unexpected happened. A loud crash echoed through the cafeteria, making everyone jump. The doors burst open, but this time it wasn't more security. It was a figure cloaked in darkness, a woman draped in a long, tattered coat. Her hair hung in wild disarray, eyes wild like a storm. Leave her alone! The woman's voice thundered, cutting through the panic. The cafeteria fell silent, shock strung tightly in the air. Who are you? Barked one of the officers, stepping forward, confusion marring his features. The woman's gaze pierced directly to Anna, deep, knowing. You don't know what's at stake. Anna, you're in grave danger. Panic rose again, swelling rapidly. Get her out of here. Someone yelled. Parents and teachers rushed in from behind. A chill dispersed through Anna's body. What danger? What could she possibly be facing? Her heart mimicked the pounding chaos swirling around her. She felt rooted to the spot, as if anchored by an invisible force. Listen to me, the woman pleaded, stepping closer. Mr. Thompson, he's been keeping secrets. Secrets about you. You mustn't let them find out who you really are. Anna's breath hitched. What was she saying? Who was this woman? And how did she know her? Tension hung in the air as all eyes turned back toward Mr. Thompson, who lay vulnerable on the floor. With every heartbeat, Anna's world spiraled further from what she thought was true. "Anna!" Lily yelled, urgency drenching her voice. "We need to get out of here." But Anna couldn't move. The weight of the woman's words pressed heavy against her heart. The secrets. What could they mean? "What do you mean, who I really am?" she stammered. And then, with terrifying clarity, the truth loomed, ready to shatter everything. As fear coursed through her, the air shattered with tension. Where was this moment leading? What lay beneath the surface of her reality, ready to explode in the next second? Anna felt the weight of the woman's gaze, the panic enveloping her like thick fog. "You're in grave danger." The sentence wrapped around her heart, squeezing tighter with every passing second. The cafeteria buzzed with a whirlwind of concern. Breaths held, eyes darting back and forth. "Who are you?" someone demanded. Anna's pulse raced wildly. Everyone was watching, waiting for answers, or something even more unsettling. Suddenly, the principal's body jerked on the floor, and a few gasps broke the suffocating silence. Mr. Thompson's eyes fluttered open, and with laboured breath, he managed to choke out, "Anna, don't let them." The tension in the room thickened. Anna felt ice creep into her veins. How did he know her? The woman in the coat stepped closer, determination lighting her eyes. "They know your power, Anna. You're special, and they want to take you away." "Seems like a cheesy movie plot," snorted Jessica, attempting bravado but failing, tremors evident through her voice. The fear seeped into everyone, cracking their fragile masks of confidence. "Shut up!" Lily shouted, eyes wide. "This is serious!" But then something shifted. The double doors burst open again, and in stormed a group of adults in dark uniforms, their eyes scanning the room with urgency. It wasn't the school administration. They were someone different. Hunters, perhaps. "Where is she?" A strong voice rang out from the leader, eyes pinning Anna. "We know she's here." "Who? Me?" Anna stammered, feeling like prey in a trap. "What do you want from me?" The woman in the tattered coat took a step back, fear etching her features. "No, not now," she whispered, her eyes flaring with alarm. The leader advanced, a grim determination in his stride. "You don't need to be afraid. We're not here to hurt you." His voice dripped with false reassurance. "We just want to know the truth about your father." The world tilted. Anna felt her knees weaken. "My father, what do you know about him?" The cafeteria exploded with whispers, shock rippling through the crowd. "Anna," someone called from the back, still grappling with the situation. "What's happening?" Mr. Thompson was struggling to stand, pressing himself against the table, desperately gasping for answers. "No, don't tell them," he yelled, but the urgency in his voice rang hollow. "They're here for something bigger." "Get away from her," yelled Lily, stepping in front of Anna, fierce and brave. But even the warmth of her friendship felt like a flimsy shield against the darkness closing in. Still, the leader pressed on, undeterred. "Let's avoid any unnecessary mess, shall we? We can do this the easy way or the hard way." A sinister smile spread across his face, revealing two white teeth that sent a chill down Anna's spine. Suddenly, a crashing sound echoed as a backpack toppled off a table. All eyes trembled at the distraction. "What was that?" one of the officers barked, shifting their attention momentarily. In that split second, everything broke apart. From the chaos, a figure emerged. A tall boy with wild hair, glinting eyes like embers in the dark. He rushed across the cafeteria, determination etched deep into his features. "Anna, run!" he shouted. But it was too late. The leader lashed out, blocking her path. In a snap, Anna felt the atmosphere shift again, the room vibrating as something snapped, the air crackling like electricity. Before she could comprehend, a blinding flash erupted like lightning, stunning everyone. The cafeteria was engulfed in blinding light, the world around her fading to black for a moment. When clarity returned, chaos had turned to chaos, wrapped in stillness. Mr. Thompson lay motionless. Jessica stood frozen, and the hunters were scattered, their eyes wide in disbelief. And Anna? She was changed, heart pounding, breath hitching in her throat. She felt it, the powers awakening inside her, but they felt more connected to her father than she ever knew. Anna's world tilted, leaving her grasping for the ground. What was the truth? What did they want from her? As questions spiraled, she realized with shocking clarity, everything she thought she knew about herself and her past was about to be rewritten. And the hunt? It had just begun. Anna felt the crackling energy around her pulse with raw potential, flooding her veins like electricity. The cafeteria, still in shock, was locked in a moment that seemed like an eternity. Mr. Thompson lay vulnerable on the floor, nothing but whispers of concern swirling around him. Everyone watched with bated breath, their eyes darting between the fallen principal and the strange woman in the coat. "Stay away from her!" Lily shouted, stepping protectively in front of Anna, a fierce determination fueling her words. But Anna's heart pounded, not from fear of the unknown, but a tingling sensation that danced just under her skin. Deep breaths felt out of reach as uncertainty filled the air. "Anna, you have to come with me. We don't have much time," the woman implored, her wild hair framing a face etched with urgency. But before Anna could respond, the blinding light faded, leaving behind eerie silence. And then it happened. An enormous crack sounded from the ceiling, a spiderweb of fissures spreading like the echo of a gunshot. Everyone jumped, shrieks turning into gasps. "Look!" someone yelled, pointing upwards. A dark figure began to fall through the newly formed gap. Time slowed. Anna's breath hitched in her throat. What was happening? The figure plummeted, arms flailing. It was a man. As he hit the floor, a bone-jarring crash rattled the cafeteria. Silence hung heavy for a heartbeat before murmurs erupted. "What the hell just happened?" someone cried, looking mind-boggled. The man was sprawled on the ground, groaning. As everyone gathered around, Anna felt a gnawing unease wash over her. Why did the man seem vaguely familiar? Suddenly, his eyes shot open, wild and frantic, hollow but with a flicker of recognition. Get away from my daughter!" he screamed, voice hoarse like gravel. Anna's heart dropped. "Daughter? Dad?" The words slipped past her lips before she could stop it. Her mind raced. How could he be here? Was this a dream? Panic surged through her, twin torrents of confusion and dread intertwining. The woman in the coat stepped back, shock etching deep lines on her face. "No, it can't be." "Anna, Her father yelled again, pulling himself up, desperate. You have to let them help you. Tears threatened to spill from her eyes, but Anna couldn't process it. The cafeteria, once a storm of chaos, seemed lost in a breathless gasp, all eyes drawn to the unfolding disaster. Help! Help me, she whispered, feeling the weight of betrayal crush her. You're the one who left. Every choice I made was to protect you, he growled, body shaking. You were never supposed to find out. I did. What I had to do? What are you hiding? The words shot from Anna's mouth like arrows, sharp and cruel. Then it hit her. The pieces twisted into place as she recalled whispered conversations, hushed fears, and fragmented memories of her childhood. Suddenly, everything she thought she knew felt like lies layered in grief. The cafeteria buzzed with murmurs again. Is he really her father? What's going on? Anna, they're going to take you away, he warned, voice trembling as panic spread through the muted crowd. They'll take you back to that world. World? Everything felt absurd. She glanced at Lily, whose face mirrored her own turmoil. What do you mean? Anna demanded, her voice cracking. What world? Before he could reply, Mr. Thompson, still on the ground, clawed at the tiled floor, struggling to speak through their shared chaos. You have to understand who you really are. Anna staggered back, the truth feeling like a crushing weight. I don't want to hear it. You were supposed to protect me. And then the officers stepped closer, fingers twitching over their radios like wolves circling their prey. Step back, all of you. But Anna felt every bit of anger igniting. She wasn't their victim. She was his daughter. She felt strength surge through her. I will not be taken away. But the world spun again, a kaleidoscope of chaos. What was she? What did they want from her? A surge of frustration washed over Anna, amplifying the questions blurring her vision. Relationships shattered, and health secrets splintered before her eyes. The truth beckoned urgently, but not without peril. And in that moment, she vowed to uncover what lay buried beneath the lies. Her heart raced, dread and resolve intertwining like an unbreakable chain. The room trembled, filling with unresolved chaos yet again. But Anna stood, determined to confront the darkness threatening to consume her. What was this world? And how tangled was her father in its shadows? The storm was just beginning. As Anna stood there, her heart pounding in the chaotic cafeteria, she felt herself torn between a past she barely understood and a future that threatened to consume her. What world? She demanded, her voice shaking. The weight of her father's words hung in the air like a cold fog, thick and suffocating. Your father, he's not who you think he is. The woman in the coat insisted, urgency dripping from her tone. He's part of something bigger, something dangerous. What are you talking about? Anna felt the walls closing in, fear threading through her veins like poison. Stop! Her father shouted again, his face twisted in desperation. You don't know what you're saying! But beneath his plea, Anna saw something darker flicker in his eyes. A hint of anger? Once family, now stranger. And then, before confusion could swallow the room whole, everything shifted. A loud bang erupted from the cafeteria doors as they burst open again. But this time, it wasn't just officers or more chaos. It was a group of people, strange, shadowy figures, moving with precision and purpose. Out of the darkness stepped a man tall and striking with piercing blue eyes. He wore a suit, entirely too formal for the situation, and for a heartbeat, Anna was entranced. And then he spoke. "I'm here for the girl," he said, his voice sharp, slicing through the tension. "Anna, you're coming with us." "No!" Lily cried, gripping Anna's arm tightly. "You can't! I don't even know who you are!" Anna shouted back, feeling the surge of panic clawing up her throat. "Who were they? What did they want?" "Don't listen to him!" her father yelled, his voice rising in panic. "He's dangerous. They all are. What's going on?" Jessica whispered, her bravado fading. Confusion washed over the cafeteria as everyone turned their heads, uncertain, scared. "Please, Anna, we can protect you," the man in the suit continued, his gaze unwavering, intent. "Your father has been hiding truths that can't stay buried. He's involved in things far beyond what you can imagine." The room vibrated with whispers. "What does he mean? Is that even true?" Voices flickered through the crowd, fueling the uncertainty. Before anyone could process it, the man lunged forward, hand reaching toward Anna, but her father stepped in front of her, shouting, "Get away from her!" Then, in a flicker of motion, so fast it seemed to warp reality, the man pulled out something shiny. A badge. The impact rippled through the room, a shockwave that made Anna gasp. "This isn't just about you, Anna," he said, voice low, holding the badge aloft. "You're more important than you realize. You're the key to stopping an impending disaster." A chill swept through her. A disaster? Was this related to those whispers about her power? Suddenly, everything she felt, every stranger's threatening presence, every shadow lurking behind her father, felt more real, more terrifying. Lily's grip tightened. "Anna, please! You can't trust him!" And in that moment, the room cracked open. The figures behind the man began to move, their actions precise, rehearsed. "No!" Anna screamed as they descended on her father. "Stop! You don't understand!" he howled. Struggle etched deeply into his features. Anna felt a panic rise, sharp, cold. Then it hit. A blinding flash filled the room, as shadows collided with light. A scream pierced the air, cutting through the chaos like a knife. It was Jessica. "No!" she cried, eyes wide with horror. Before Anna could grasp what was happening, the man in the suit swept in front of her, shielding her from the commotion. But in that split second, something deeper unraveled. The heavy weight of the badge slipped from his fingers. The room froze. Time stretched, and Anna's gaze landed on the shining emblem. It wasn't just a badge. It shimmered with strange power, radiating energy that made her heart leap with familiarity. "Dad!" she shouted. Again, her voice breaking. But then the unbelievable truth crashed over her. The man wasn't just here to protect her. He was part of something darkly intertwined with her fate. Stunned whispers erupted around them, tearing at the fabric of reality. What if? Anna's mind raced. She glanced at her father, now on the floor, trembling. What if everything is a lie? "Don't listen to them, Anna!" he cried, desperation clawing at his every word. "You're safer away from this." But in that moment, a truth unveiled itself, shattering everything Anna relied on. The shadows of both her father and the man in the suit danced in her mind, tangled in a web of secrets and revelations. Everything shifted again, the air crackling. With the weight of the unknown, Anna stood on a precipice, fraught with fear and newfound power. The question loomed larger than ever. Who was she, really? And with that swirl of realization, a truth that felt like betrayal began to surface. Was her father her protector, or her captor, in a game much larger than she ever imagined? And as the storm of revelation swept through the crowd, Anna felt her heart tremble with uncertainty. What would become of her now? Anna felt the heavy weight of her father's presence pressing down on her, every heartbeat echoing the chaos around them. The man in the suit loomed like a dark shadow, eyes fixed on her with an unsettling intensity. "Anna, we have to go now," he insisted, urgency tightening his voice. But her father's alarmed shout cut through the noise again. "No! You'll never take her!" The room felt like it was spinning, voices swirling together in a dizzying chaos. Anna could barely breathe. What was real? Who was telling the truth? Her heart raced, a surge of heat washing over her. A tingling sensation shot through her veins, and she felt her power escalate, raw and electric, crackling in the air around her. Suddenly, a loud crash shattered the tension. The cafeteria doors burst open again, this time revealing a uniformed officer, his face pale as he scanned the scene. "What's happening?" he shouted, eyes wide with shock. But before anyone could respond, chaos erupted. A piercing scream cut through the air. It was Jessica, but not the Jessica everyone knew. This scream was filled with terror, raw and unfiltered. "Anna, get back!" she cried, eyes wide and frantic. Everyone turned, confused, unsure of the sudden change. As Anna glanced toward Jessica, she was taken aback. The girl's expression was one of horror, not just at the situation, but something deeper. In that moment, Jessica's eyes flickered with something that unnerved Anna deeply. A flash of fear too profound to ignore. "Wait!" Anna shouted, her voice rising in an instinctual plea. But it was too late. A dark figure slipped into view behind Jessica, its actions swift and shadowy, shrouded in a haze of darkness. The cafeteria gasped. Collectively, "Get away from her!" Anna's father shouted, his panic sending a jolt through her heart. Then everything changed. In the blink of an eye, the shadow lunged forward, and with a swift, fluid motion, it collided with Jessica. The cafeteria erupted into chaos, students shouting, some rushing back in horror, others frozen in disbelief as Jessica crumpled to the ground, gasping for breath. "No!" Anna screamed, lunging forward, but before she could reach her, the figure turned, its face briefly illuminated. In that second, Anna felt time stop. The features etched into the figure's face made her stomach drop. "No!" she whispered, backing away as the realization hit her like a freight train. The figure was unmistakable. Her mother. The cafeteria descended into shock. Stunned silence enveloping everyone like a thick fog. Anna's breath hitched. Her mother had been gone for years. Everyone had thought she was dead, lost in an accident. But here she stood, eyes dark with determination, a wild energy pulsating around her like a storm. "Anna, you don't understand," her mother yelled over the rising chaos, reaching for her. "They're dangerous. You have to trust me." Tears blurred Anna's vision. Everything she thought she knew shattered like glass. Her gaze darted around the cafeteria, filled with a mix of panic and disbelief. She felt her world tilt on its axis, betrayal and confusion creeping into her heart. "Mom?" she stammered, disbelief flooding her words. "Is it really you?" "Yes," Her mother cried, stepping forward, panic lacing her voice. "But we don't have time! They know what you are!" "Everyone, back!" the officers shouted, moving closer, desperate to restore order. But the crowd was an ocean of chaos now, murmurs rising to screams. Anna's heart hammered in her chest. What did that mean? A part of her wanted to embrace her mother, but another was terrified of the implications. What world had her family been a part of? What secrets had been hidden from her? The weight of the moment pressed down on her like a boulder. Everything spiraled into uncertainty. The man in the suit kept a careful distance, his eyes flickering between Anna and her mother, measuring the threat. "This is getting out of control," he warned, stepping back. "Everything we've kept hidden for so long is unraveling," her mother pressed, urgency flooding her voice. "You need to understand, Anna. They want to use you. You're powerful, and it's a danger to us all." No. The words crashed against Anna's consciousness, tearing away the last remnants of her stable world. Who could she trust? As it all sank in, she realized that the tangled web of lies and truth was far more complex than she could have ever imagined. And amidst the chaos, as she fought to process her mother's sudden return and the dark shadows surrounding her, the truth lingered like a storm on the horizon, dark and threatening. Anna stood at the edge of an abyss. The answers tantalizingly close, yet dangerously out of reach. And the question loomed bright and clear. Would she step forward into this frightening unknown, or retreat into the safety of ignorance? In that moment, the reality of her family, and the secrets within it, became her new nightmare. Anna felt the crushing weight of her mother's presence, every heartbeat reverberating through the chaos. Dim lights flickered over the cafeteria, casting erratic shadows across anxious faces. Each student stood frozen, caught between disbelief and fear. "You don't understand, Anna," her mother implored again, desperation spilling from her voice. "They want to tape you. You're special, and it's a danger to us all." Anna's heart raced. Her world spun, crashing with the truth. She never expected. The betrayal curled like smoke in her throat. "But you left me!" she shouted, shaking with emotion. "You were gone!" "I did it to protect you," her mother cried, urgency pouring from her every word. But the truth felt unbearable, twisting her insides. "Anna!" A voice broke through the fog, her father's panic rippling through the room. "Don't trust her." Whispers fluttered like moths. "Who is she? What's happening?" Fear hung heavy, pressing against her. "Mum, why now?" Anna asked, feeling the heat of anger climb in her cheeks. But before her mother could reply, the cafeteria jolted. The lights flickered again, like an angry pulse in the dark. Then the air shifted, thickening with tension, as a loud bang echoed, shaking the walls. Anna squinted as the cafeteria doors burst open once more. But this time, it wasn't just figures slipping through the haze. This time, it was something much darker. A storm of what looked like figures cloaked in black, their faces hidden. "Get back!" the man in the suit shouted, stepping closer to Anna, a fierce desperation lighting his eyes. But before she could comprehend what he meant, a shocking revelation unfolded before her. One of the shadowy figures stepped forward, and a voice, low and bone-chilling, called out, "Anna, your time is running thin." Her breath hitched. The figure stepped closer, the hood falling back to reveal a face she recognized too well. "No," Anna gasped. "Lucas? Lucas, the boy she'd liked since forever. Someone she trusted, stood there with a dangerous gleam in his eyes. "You let them get to you," he taunted, voice dripping with malice. "Look at you, caught in the middle of this chaos. You really thought you could escape?" "Lucas, what's going on?" Anna felt the ground shift beneath her, a pit of uncertainty opening wide. "He was one of them? Did you really think I was just a friend?" His smirk twisted into something sinister. "I'm meant to take you back where you belong." The cafeteria fell into a shocked silence, expressions of disbelief and betrayal rippling through the crowd. "Back where I belong?" Anna felt the anger bubble inside her, pulse racing with adrenaline. "What are you talking about?" "They know what you can do, Anna," Lucas continued, a darkness in his voice. "And they'll do anything to harness your power." Her heart raced. Everything started to mesh into a whirlwind of horror. The shadows around Lucas began to coil and grow, shifting like a menacing wave ready to crash. "Stop! You don't know who she is!" her mother shouted again, fear lacing her voice. But it was too late. With a quick flick of his wrist, Lucas nodded, and the shadows surged forward with startling speed. Anna felt panic clawing at her throat. "No!" she screamed, throwing her hands up but not knowing what to expect. In an instant, a blinding flash erupted, brighter than before. It stung her eyes, forcing everyone to shield their faces. When the light dimmed, the cafeteria felt eerily quiet and still. Chaos had turned to a stillness that made her stomach twist. She blinked, her heart thundering, and when vision cleared, she was no longer surrounded by students or teachers. She was faced with a vast void. The cafeteria transformed into a desolate landscape. "Anna!" came her mother's voice, echoing in the emptiness. But she couldn't see her anymore. Shadows flickered in the corners as unfamiliar shapes began to emerge. "Oh my God," someone whispered, their voice trembling. "What happened?" A chill filled the atmosphere, the truth dawning hard and fast. Lucas smirked, stepping forward through the shades, a light glinting. "Off his eyes! Welcome to your new reality." The horror of the moment crashed over her, and Anna felt her knees weaken. "What did you do?" He laughed, a low, haunting sound. "I just set you free." And with those words, everything unraveled. The bonds she thought she had, the secrets wrapped tightly around her family, the friendships. Were they real or mere illusions? As darkness encroached, Anna could only imagine what new nightmare awaited her. The foundations of everything she knew were crumbling, leaving her trembling in a world she didn't recognize, surrounded by the ghosts of what was lost. As the blinding light dimmed, Anna found herself standing at the edge of something vast and unknown. Lucas loomed closer, his smirk fading into a cold intensity. Shadows swirled around him, thickening like a dark fog that threatened to close in. "Where are we?" Anna gasped. But as she looked around, any trace of the cafeteria was gone. They stood on a cliff overlooking a stormy ocean, waves crashing against jagged rocks, absorbing her words into the tumult. "You're about to inherit your destiny," Lucas said, voice low and commanding. "But you need to remember, this is bigger than you think." "What do you mean?" Anna's heart raced. Panic clawed at her throat. She turned, searching for her mother, for her father. But all she saw was shadow. "It's time to choose." Lucas stepped back, the darkness swirling around him, enhancing his presence. "Join us and embrace your power, or refuse and watch your family suffer." "No!" Anna shouted, her voice fierce, causing the shadows to ripple. She could feel her mother's plea in the air, her father's desperate look swirling in her mind. "I will never join you." The ocean roared, a fierce wind whipping through Anna's hair. "Then what will you do?" Lucas challenged, advancing toward her, shadows sliding like serpents at his feet. But in that moment of fear, Anna felt something within her shift. A warmth ignited in the core of her being, a power she had never fully embraced. Her breath steadied, determination flooding her veins. "I choose my family. I choose myself." With those words, a blinding light erupted from her chest, flowing outwards like a shockwave. It pushed back against Lucas and the encroaching darkness, forcing it to retreat. The shadows writhed, hissing and howling until they lost their strength against her new resolve. Suddenly, the storm faded. The cliff and ocean dissolved into a serene landscape, filled with bright hues of light and warmth. Figures began to materialize around her. Her mother, her father, and even Lily stood by her side, strength illuminating their faces. "Anna," her mother called, eyes wide with pride. "You did it!" Anna felt a rush of love, an overwhelming warmth swelling in her heart as she looked at them. The lingering shadows dissipated, leaving nothing but a soft glow of harmony in their wake. But Lucas was not gone. He stood at the edge of the light, eyes narrowed in fury. "This isn't over, Anna. You can't run from your destiny." His voice echoed, fading as the brightness enveloped him. "Let him go," her father said, placing a hand on Anna's shoulder. "You have the power now, and you can shape your own fate." Tears filled Anna's eyes. "I just wanted to find my place. I was scared." Her mother stepped forward, gently cupping Anna's face. "You are powerful, my love. Trust in who you are, and you'll always find your way." As Anna embraced them, reality twisted again. The world around her shimmered, pulling them back to the cafeteria, where everything began. Students gasped and murmured as the scene unfolded. Anna felt the surge of warmth, fading into quiet relief as she faced the crowd. "I'm okay," she called out, voice firm and confident. "I won't be your victim anymore." Cheers erupted in the cafeteria, a wave of unity rising from the chaos. Friends rushed to her, wrapping her in warm embraces. The shadows had receded, leaving behind the clarity of truth. The bonds of friendship and family surged within, giving her strength. But amidst the celebration, a question lingered like a whisper. What now? The energy she felt, the choices ahead, it sat at the edge of her consciousness, waiting for her to explore. And just like that, as her heart raced with promise, Anna realized this was just the beginning. The world was vast, filled with possibilities, and she felt ready to face whatever waited ahead. But hold on a second. Before you go, there's something crucial. You need to subscribe now so you don't miss the exclusive stories coming your way. Hit that red button and smash the like button for the algorithm. Your support means everything to us. And don't forget to flood the comments with your reactions. What do you think happened next for Anna? We want to know your theories. Finally, share this video instantly with at least 5 friends who need to hear this conclusion. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait another second. Your participation makes a world of difference.